If House Republicans are really concerned about me taking too many executive actions, the best solution to that is passing bills. Pass a bill. Solve a problem.
Obama will make it official tonight. Executive action on immigration will become law of the land. And those who will be the first group affected by any change in immigration are steaming mad and feeling as if no one is hearing their side of the discourse. Welcome back to MidPoint. Former sheriff from Graham County, Arizona, founder of the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association, Richard Mack. Sheriff, we thank you once again for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Sheriff, let's say that the president doesn't indeed go through with his executive order. He sets the tone for more millions becoming citizens, or at least getting amnesty, if you will, for the time being. What will be the impact on law enforcement at ground level, specifically along the borders of the United States?
Well, it's hard to imagine that that could get any worse than it is. And it's really astonishing that no one in Washington, D.C., especially the White House, are talking to local sheriffs. He's been invited to the border by many of these sheriffs along the Arizona border specifically. And yet he ignores the impact that illegal immigration has had on local law enforcement, especially the infrastructure of the local counties. And now sheriffs from the north are starting to see the impact as well. And they're actually organizing. Sheriffs from Massachusetts, sheriffs from North Carolina, sheriffs from Ohio are getting involved and organized to go to Washington, D.C. on December 10th to tell Congress and the White House, look, what you have failed to do is really having an impact on the crime rates in our local jurisdictions, and we can't handle it anymore, and you've got to do your job.
What about bringing in, as we have seen in other places, the National Guard, the military people in here? I know we're going back over places that we've been here before, but would that help at all at this point? And is that going to become an inevitability? And I have to preface that by saying some people say that you and many others along the border are overreacting to this.
Well, why don't you come talk to the sheriffs there and then say if you're overreacting? I was a sheriff near the border, one county away from the border in Arizona, and I live in Arizona now. I've always lived close to the border my entire life. And my Hispanic friends, the ones I've graduated from high school and college with, feel the exact same way. This has gotten out of hand, it's out of control, and it's because Washington, D.C. politicians play politics with this issue instead of having the courage to tackle this problem like they are required to do by law and by the supreme law of the land, the Constitution.
Is the one thing that we're missing here, and I don't hear a lot of discussion about this, but specifically when you talk about the illegal aliens in the United States, there's between 4 and 5 million of them that drive in this country on a regular basis. They don't have a license, they don't have insurance, many of them are not even able to read the road signs written in English. I know, again, this is a minor thing here, but if you think about it, there are people being killed on the roadways by these people, so there is an immediate impact here that affects the American citizen. Why is that not getting a lot of attention?
Well, it is here in Arizona. It's been talked about a lot. And the problem is we can't get anybody in Washington, D.C. to listen. Did you hear what the president just said? If you don't want me to break the law, then you guys need to pass a law. Otherwise, I'm going to break the law.
Who's helping? Is there anybody in Washington right now who's helping this cause, in your opinion?
There's a few here and there. And we're meeting with some of them on the 10th. We have some private meetings with some U.S. senators and congressmen, and we're trying to make sure that they're willing to listen. One of them is Congressman Matt Salmon from Arizona, and we're trying to make sure that a lot more listen and see the real picture here. We are reaching out to Congresswoman Kirsten Sinema, and we don't care, because this is not a Democrat or Republican issue. We're reaching out across the aisle. It doesn't matter. I don't care what party you are. We've got to solve this problem. The sheriffs of this country don't care what your politics are. We want to solve the problem. And when Mr. Obama comes out on national television making these types of statements, challenging the Republicans the way he did, that's just more politics as usual. And people need to see through that. And they need to put pressure on the president to do the right thing to follow the law, Mr. President.
I'll give
that
you
you
about,
swore-
I got about 10 seconds left here. Real quick, do you think the president, when it comes down to this whole executive action, is a coward?
I think he's a liar. And therefore, yeah, I guess he is a coward. He won't address the problem. Instead, he plays politics, and he's not being genuine about this at all.
We are going to follow this and talk to you again as well. Sheriff Richard Mack, thank you so much for joining us, my friend. We'll talk soon. All right. Should President Obama give away those illegal rights, and should indeed you get a chance to talk about it? You will. Here it is. Should the president grant amnesty to illegals? It is our Newsmax poll. Right now, go to newsmax.com/poll. Let us know. The discussion continues, and so does MidPoint.